Hello, my friends. Welcome to this week's Ministry Moment as we continue talking about Lent, this season of preparation and getting ourselves ready for the wonderful celebration of Easter that we started last week. This week, as we're trying to make the most out of Lent, I wanted to talk to you about another sort of traditional part of Lent, which is scripture reading. Scripture reading is always a really good thing for us to do. But I want to introduce to you a practice that you may or may not have heard of before. It's called Lectio Divina. Now, it's a Latin term, and it can be a kind of complicated way of reading, but at its essence, it's actually really simple. And I want to just start there with the really simple part of it. This is just a little way of spending some time with Scripture and with God to open your heart to what God's going to say to you during this season of Lent. So, grab a Bible, doesn't matter what translation is in. You can look it up on the computer. BibleGateway.com is a great way to find lots of different really easy translations as well. Or grab an audio Bible. That's a really good way to listen to the Bible as well. And find some small piece of scripture. You just want something short. It can be even as short as a verse if you want. But just a little piece of something. Then sit in a comfortable spot and open with a prayer. Just a simple prayer to ask God to open your heart and your mind to what He wants to say to you and to be with you in this time. And then read your passage. One of the reasons you want to do this as a short passage is you might want to read it numerous times. They often suggest up to 4, slowly, carefully. This is meant to be a set-aside time for you and God. Read the passage, the verse, over 2, 3, 4 times. And then just sit for a bit and think for a minute or two about what that passage said. This is not a Bible study. This is just a time to sort of see what grabs you. Is there a word in there? Is there a feeling that you got from that passage? Think about how that little bit that you just read over and over is what it means to you right now and what it means to you in your life. Then, after you've thought about that for a bit, it's time to pray again. And this time, it's specifically just to chat a little to God about what you may or may not have just discovered in that passage. Tell Him how you felt. Tell Him what you think it might mean. Ask Him some questions, whatever comes to mind. And then finally, take a page from last week's Lenten ministry moment and spend just a few moments in silence, relaxing, letting God be with you, finishing with a calmness and a peace. That final prayer, you might have just asked for God to do that with you, just to sit with you for a bit and be with you. That's Lectio Divina at its heart. A fairly simple 4-step process. Give it a try this week. And again, I'd love to hear what your experience may be with that. I hope it is something that helps you and helps you with your heart and in preparation during this season of Lent. Take care, my friends, and God bless.